The wasteland never made anything easy. The stealth buck had gotten me through the maze of maintenance tunnels and to the surface without being seen. After a few close grabs with some of the patrolling guards, I considered myself lucky. The key word there, however, was lucky. I was hunkered down behind a row of wooden counters as several brass-armored slavers fired at me through the shattered window of an old cafe. I felt a strange sympathy for the raiders I pinned in this very position less than a week ago as bullets slumped against the damp barricade. From the reflective surface of a cracked mirror on the black wall, I managed to glimpse the rubble-strewn steps of several large buildings across the open plaza just outside. The skyscrapers included both the MAS Desert Springs Hub and the Oracle HQ building. The latter of the two stood out from the grimy industrial architecture of the rest of the city. Its curved glass structure with white walls stood apart from the crumbling brick and mortar. Even if it had become mulled and brown over the centuries, it was much like the Disney Corporation Tower and looked in no better condition from the outside. Doesn't mean there isn't some centuries-old monster in there to mess you up again, Dragonfire, mine warned. Nevertheless, as worried as the mysterious building as I was, I quickly focused on my true objective. The blocky squad building that was the Southern West Stable Tech hub sat between the two towers, and it was just as bad condition as its neighbors. Yet even if I could get over to it, there's no way I was making it in through the collapsed door and deep pit that had dragged half of its front face into the infernal foundries below the city. Now that a shot penetrated the rotting wood beside me, redirected my focus to more immediate problems, however. So much for not dying. Great way to keep your promise, Jerry, I might say flatly. Shut up! You should be thinking of a way out of this, not be mocking me, I mentally cursed, tapping a hoof against my helmet. Even that small action stung as I felt the medics wearing off, allowing all the aches, pains, and the intense burning in my wounded shoulder to steadily return. Groaning, I sat up and forced the agony into the back of my mind as I popped one of the last doses Sky had given me and used the broken mirror to peer over the counter. The war-stained walls of the building hemmed me in on both sides. In fact, I was amazed that anybody could have once run a business in such a small place. The intense industry and residential areas in the place were so seamlessly, it was hard to distinguish between a home and what was a hole for burning trash. Houses and shops were crammed tightly amidst the sprawl of pipelines, factories, and foundries. Long steel walkways and rows of wires trailing throughout all of them like a giant spider's web. It was as if the whole place was one big factory built on top of a bare minimum quality of life standards which everybody working here needed to live. Searching for anything I could use to escape, I looked up to see several burst pipes running across the ceiling as well as rusted ventilation system that was suspended by nothing more but some taut threads of metal. It's even more unfortunate that there were no more tables and chairs left in here. The trick I'd used on Mr. Reed's raiders would have worked again if there was at least something to throw at my opponents. It left me with only one clear option, and the survivor in me was begging that I take it. Just go back down the chair and the others. You can at least save them. The sensible voice chimed in my head. No, that would draw the slavers back down there too, not to mention all the points I had crept past to get up here in the first place. I need a damn plan. Give me some options, Brain. In frustration, I fired several blind plasma rifle shots at the slavers, but they were safely taking cover behind what was left of a broken monument in the plaza's center. I'm sick of this. Somebody just blow that place up now! One buck shot as another tossed a grenade. Grenades? Those I could handle, my mind flared, catching the explosive midair and tossing it back. 1, 2. I paused. Ears rising as the thing failed to detonate. Then there was an almost silent whoosh and a more distant explosion as the grenade detonated in the face of a group of slavers far further back from anywhere I could have thrown it. Seconds later I peered into the reflection to see one of the slavers fall down the flooded asphalt. What the f... One slaver called, as the same question crossed my mind. Shifting to get an even better view look, I saw the group of brass armored ponies looking up in panic and taking the pressure off me. What's it doing? Hey, you stupid Sherlock, we're on your side! A mirror added firing to the upper floor of the building I was hiding in. Okay, I was officially confused. Either I had yet another guardian angel, they had an enemy, or the wasteland just felt like f***ing with me some more. Regardless, I took my chance and fired several shots of plasma into one of the bucks. He cried out in pain as the searing bolts of plasma melted through his brass armor and into his leg. Yeah, still not understanding why they wore that stuff. My target fell heaving onto the wet asphalt. In the midst of it all, I thought I saw what I could only describe as a fiery green flash somewhere above. The two remaining slavers' eyes went wide and they stopped firing for a split second. All I really took note of was the fact that they were still far too focused on what was attacking them from upstairs and noticed me, and I wasn't long before one of them fell to the ground, but they resumed their fire. Even with most of my enemies distracted, however, I didn't need to do anything but fall back into my cover and watch the reflection in the mirror as slaver and their slaver fell. Eventually, the last slaver, the mare, bolted towards me, yelling as she ran. Can't trust any of you guys. Somebody always gotta try and turn. There's a sharp whoosh and she fell to the floor only inches from my cover, blood leaking from a clear hole in her skull. Okay, what the I reloaded my last undamaged plasma rifle before cautiously I trotted over around the bullet being counter and over the dead mare. Leaning what I could, I made sure to take a good look around for any sight of whoever killed my attackers. Yet by now, I was used to having a mysterious stranger saving me, only to vanish mere seconds later. Sure to that, the blood-washed tree was devious of all but the thrashing bug I'd shot and his dozen or so dead friends. I glanced up to my right, seeing the massive industrial towers blasting flame into a radiating sky as they wrapped and twisted around the taller skyscrapers and apartments that marked the far side of the collapsed plaza. Past the ruined monument at its sunken center, steel frames held thick pipes aloft over the cracked streets and rusted rail lines. More still bubbled up from the huge fissures in the gnarled earth where entire parts of the city had collapsed into the fires of the hellish underworld below. I swiftly took note of anybody else that might be watching me too. But most of the crudely built slaver structures that hung from the ruins were too far away or too unoccupied for anyone to notice me. I had the lack of any more brazen opposition. It wasn't hard to assume that most things this deep into the city were going on underground. Yeah, like feeding ponies to ghouls and mocking their pleas for mercy. Tell me, where did you leave your friends again? I didn't need reminding of that. Thank you, Brain. In the gloom above the metallic skyline, I could see the distant mass reach even higher. Now that the flat-topped mountain sat to the left, the flame-spanging metropolis thinned down slightly. As my eyes panned down, the view was obscured by the crooked form of a leaning skyscraper. Its crumbling form draped in pipes and scaffolds. Ministry of Arcane Sciences was written in lopsided metal letters above the resting door. Stable-Tech marked what was left of the building next to it, along with the telltale icon of the company. Finally, the Oracle building looked even odder up close, especially with its electrical blue logo that was still flickering with the faintest glimmer of light. Maybe it was just what had happened to me back in the Destiny Tower. But the sight of the glass spire made my skin crawl far more than anything else. Great, I've come all this way and now how the f am I supposed to get into the damn place? I mentally groaned as I regarded the collapsed foyer of the Stable-Tech hub, taking care not to get too close to the deep fissure that had consumed almost half of the building. I looked at my pit book, hoping to find any kind of other entrance, tunnel, bridge, or anything. No more stupid ideas. You don't have all the time in the world to go exploring for a way in, my mind commented. No, I was gonna be the best bunny I could be, I countered. I was not a good one. I was gonna do this. I need you to do this for start. A rasping cough caught my attention as a half-melted bug I shot tried to crawl across the wet asphalt towards his weapon. Turning, I pointed my plasma rifle at his head. This was the only mercy I could offer for such a monster. He looked at me, yellow eyes narrowing as they met the crackling barrel of the rifle. Yeah, no idea. You're gonna come in here causing trouble. I coughed. I paused, holding my gun steadily. Why? Are you gonna chase me across that wasteland? I already got some ponies in line for that, and most of them still have all four on their legs. I told him bluntly. He hacked and gagged some more. He knew he was dead. He knew he could spite me with whatever he wanted, and I could do nothing but speed his inevitable passing. No, you're just like us. Nobody knows what they're getting when it comes to them. He coughed again, the convulsion stealing his words. I kneeled down over him, eyes narrowing. Who is them? I asked sharply. The fire. Swarm. The Baron's freaks. Cheer for the deranged. His words were silenced as his head exploded. Warm gore smothered my visor and I staggered back, wiping a hoof over the glass as the weak display flickered and his red outline vanished. Don't move, somebody uttered. Then I felt the gold barrel against. Oh gosses, I really needed to get that part of my rear properly armored. It's so nice to finally get you alone. I swallowed. It's a social instinct taking over. This wasn't the first time somebody was striking my nethers with a gun. Well, if you're so keen, at least ask me out for dinner first. And Necros's gun tickled my reproductive organs. My mysterious advisor merely grunted. I would. If you hadn't noticed, options are rather limited. I turned around, slowly. I did as instructed and was swiftly met by the sight of the black barking pony from the tunnel. His arm glowed with an amber magic, levitating his weapon around. His head was still covered, and I could almost feel the stare of his eyes behind those instinct-like green domes. Then with a hoof and a click, he flicked his helmet up over his horn and levitated onto his back, revealing. Oh shit. Why did the dark mysterious pony stalking me for the past day have to be so deadly good looking? His coat was a dusty blue, and his dark purple mane curled, almost falling over his cool yellow eyes. That's a good pony. Would hate to put an end to your lovemaking, he said, the corner of his mouth curling in a smile. I felt the barrel of his odd weapon shift before levitating back to him. Now I could see the thing a little better. I really had to admit, it was the strangest rifle I'd ever seen. It looks more like somebody had wonder glued a pile of scrap together in the rough shape of a rifle. I could only assume from the state of the slavers around us it was some kind of silent weapon. That, in addition to a jagged sword and odd holstered pistol, led me to believe his choice of weapons was not conventional. More common than you might think, Hermione mused. No. About that dinner. He smiled wide and he bowed his head. My magic was just about ready to grab my laser rifle and melt his face off. But I had a feeling he'd be expecting such a thing after stalking me for so long. Plus, I really didn't want to damage his fine complexion unless I really had to. So I looked for something I could knock over him and said, Yeah, about that, you were right. I found a brick, levitating it ever so gently from a pile of rubble to his right. There's absolutely no options. I guess we're both stuck. I added with a slight laugh. Yeah, he said calmly. His amber eyes lidded. Then his rifle flipped in the air instantly, shut the brick from my magic. I paused, one eye twitching. Well, this is awkward, I stuttered, coiling back and raising my weapon. His horn flared and then the spark still fell on my rifle. Hey, that's cheating, I accused, scrambling for the dropped ammunition. His cold smile then faltered as he raised his jagged rifle to my head. This is Sting, he nodded to the weapon. I'm Vertigo. You know, I've been watching you for a long time now, and you're not dead, so... Oh, I don't know. He lifted the forehoof to his muzzle. Please stop trying to kill me. He said that so casually, so calmly. Too calmly. Well, apart from the last part. Then his magic flared again, he reloaded my rifle and pushed it back to me. Do you agree? He asked one last time, lowering his weapon as if giving me a chance to shoot him if I really wanted to. Was I a magnet for strange things, or was this another side effect of being some pony's science project? That was the first thought to enter my head. Yet he really didn't seem to want me dead, so I nodded. Vertigo smiled again, his eyes finally opening fully, yet reducing the effects of his stupidly good looks only a little. So, you have a name? I mean, I kinda know after hearing your friends shout all the time, but proper greetings and all. He rolled a hoof in the air, then bowed. Dragonfire, I stated bluntly. He nodded and raised the hoof to his shin. Boastful, strong, a bit stupid. You're a misfit. Wait, was he talking about me? I paused, ears rising as confusion racked in my brain once again. I'm sorry, I've met my fair share of odd ponies lately. Who in Equestria are you supposed to be? I finally asked. He looked back at me, seemingly slightly pained. Oh, I'm a former member of a lot of groups of ponies who tend to disappear every time I'm around. He boasted, as if I should understand what such an utterly backward and confusing sentence was supposed to mean. Then his expression fell flat. But to put it in a way you and your simple mind may understand, he motioned with a hoof as if to make sure I would think. I'm a merc who's spent most of his last days saving your flank. He stated dryly. That could someone understand. Private merc? I asked, using my eyebrow as my experience with this particular topic came to my forefront of my mind. Guess so. We're all private, really. We all got our own morals after all, right? He went on, and I paused, but I lost for words. Okay, this book was insane. Still, yeah, saved me from all the doubt and guilt that would arise if I'd gone back to Jerry without what I came in here for. Not to mention all the other things. His face, his body. My goodness, stop making my adversaries look so handsome. You're trying to hit in there, I assume? He asked a moment later, nodding to the Stable Tech Hub's collapsed foyer. Yeah, why? I responded. Oh, why would you go into such an unstable building where there are clearly too far safer pre-war treasure troves right next door to it? He asked, nodding to the skyscrapers either side of the collapsed hub respectively. Why is that any of your business? I retorted. Even as my curiosity regarding the Oracle building flared. Because I know you're looking for a stable, and you're only alive right now because of me and that thing on your leg. He nodded to my pip bag, and I shifted out of view. Vertigo frowned a little. You want to trust me a little? Sorry, but my stocks of trust are currently coming in at 0. I retorted bluntly. Oh, okay then. I guess I'll take all I know by the Transcendent, Oracle, and Stable 50 over here with me then, he taunted, turned tail to me and walking away towards the Oracle building. Mine instantly jump-started and I was caught between the spike of hope and a deep pit of anger. I never seen a flare of irritating lust at the sight of his smooth, muscular flanks as he walked away. How could he know? How did I even know I could trust him? Then again, if he knew anything about what was going on, I had to find out what. Dragonfire. Last time you trusted anyone that had anything to do with this mess, you ended up uncautious in the mogre. Ever consider the fact he's been keeping you alive just like Overseer? Mine stated. But I couldn't help but agree. But if he knew about where Star had been taken, if he knew what happened to me and what I could do to avoid ending up like Kayland? I looked at my pet by first noticing his blue bar, then the marker of the Oracle building he was heading towards as it turned from black pen to a small version of the company logo on my map. I looked at the Stable Tech Hub, angrily admitting to myself just how inaccessible it was. I didn't have all the time in the world here. Right now I had only one option if I really did want to unravel this mystery and save my pony neck friend. Still, I can't help but feel that Vertigo has stalked me in the intention of capitalizing upon the situation in which I had little choice but to trust him. Then, as if expecting my exact reaction to the current standoff, he paused, glancing back at me over his shoulder. Gosses, why do you get to look so goddamn Gosses damn sexy? You know what? I asked finally, more than ready to shoot him as if the first sight of anything even remotely suspicious. Even so much as flickered his tail in the wrong direction, I had blown his stupid, handsome light face off. That depends on how far you're willing to go for your answers, he responded, and I frowned. Right now, of course I need to go find my partner and save my friends, I retorted, and he nodded. Well, Steel 50 is just up on the mast outside the city. The Transcendent had the slavers here under their hoof with a promise they can offer a cure for the rage. Don't really expect there's any truth to that. But feel free to go up there and get him. You'll be on your own though, because my next job is to find out what they're exactly up to and why they need an army of slaves. So if you really want a chance to save your friend, help me, then I'll help you, he suggested, turning back and holding a hoof to me. I could really see what Mr. Red had meant by under new management now. I wondered how many ponies knew that the slavers here were under the rule of some fanatical religious group of nutjobs. How was the Vertigo was telling the truth? After hearing many of the brazen skulls talk about this whole rage thing, I had to submerge there was some truth to it. Nevertheless, I had Vertigo's outstretched forehoof as the rain dripped from the bat-like armor encasing it. Then looked up into his eyes. If he was a liar, then he was a damn good one. I had seen damn good liars before. Then again, what choice did I have? And I can trust you how? I questioned, and he laughed a little. You can't, not even after I saved you. But this is a wasteland, and believe me when I say you're in way over your head. I know where you went, and I know that you've probably seen things no pony has seen since the war. But like some ponies, I'm trying to help. Only for me to do that, you need to help me get the information I need in order to help you, he explained. Oh? Why do you need me when you seem to be doing fine all on your own? I challenged, glancing at the dead slavers. Tried back over and tapped my pit bug, which made me flinch as I strongly suppressed my survival reflexes of not letting anything coming toward me. Because you have something on that pit bug. I don't know what it is, but the moment you wired it up before, the whole factory went crazy. The key point is, you can get into those glassy white buildings for some reason and I can't. Not without a whole load of trouble, he explained. And truly realizing he had a good point, I sighed. Okay, I'll help you. One wrong move, and you'll what? Blow my head that way? You really are too easy to read, Dragonfire. He responded as I finally shook his hood before snatching mine away. Still, if nothing else, you're the first pony with any decent emotion out here, he said, licking his lips in an odd manner as he trotted up to the shattered doors of the Oracle building and put his helmet back on. Oh, and here, this is for that shoulder of yours, he added, levitating back another strong healing potion. I feel like I'd picked up another unwanted bug at that party. Only had the misfortune of being sober enough to realize just how strange he really was despite his good looks. My untrusting mind still fired questions at the mental image of him like flak cannons into a war-torn sky. Even as my lustful brain conjured up several fantasies of what I'd do to him if not in this situation. Regardless, after a worried sniff of the healing potion, I took a sip. Come on, I want to get this over with and then get out of here. Haven't eaten in days, he whined, passing through the rest of the old doors. He had a what? He wasn't a cannibal pony, was he? I knew how those situations usually ended. Regardless, I made sure to have my last good functioning weapon ready to melt Vertigo to goo if he tried anything. Idiot. Fool. Stupid. Now all I needed to do was add a great big magnet for all the wasteland's strangest and wildest phenomenon to my ever-growing list of disadvantages. What did you say about me being able to get in here with no problem? I called over the sound of heavy gunfire. Attention! Attention! This area is restricted. Please surrender and... The damaged Ponytron's obsessive chatter was silenced by a plasma blast to its torso. Despite that, something about finally killing one of the stupid pony manufactured scrap pals after all I'd been through was very therapeutic. Spoken way too soon, Dragonfire. Mind commented, and within moments the wasteland was all eagerly jumped on the opportunity to turn my satisfaction against me. Another of the quad-wheeled robots rolled into the corridor to take the place of the one I just dispatched, its mouth opening to reveal a fresh barrage of laser fire. Damn, these things really ruffle my feathers. Vertigo stayed as he ducked back up around the all opposite me. Even in the midst of combat, he was still hard to figure out, like a set of stairs while I was drunk. He didn't even have any feathers? This area is restricted. Please. Oh, just shut it! He yelled, firing his scrap weapon, Sting, into the metal contraption. I learned swiftly after decreasing the lower level of the Oracle Hub that his custom weapon made use of, well, almost anything as ammunition. The metal gun gave a whir as it chomped on the alien metal he put into it and spat 3 sharp spears of gliding death into the robot. I was really glad he did not fire that thing between my flanks when he had the chance, as the shards cut hole straight through the robot's mechanical skull. The Playtron crackled, sparked, and buzzed a few distorted words before it died. The laser had been built into his domed, pony-like head, sparking out with a pop. "It ain't pony else," he called into the long, wide-walled corridor. The place reminded me all too much of the Destiny building's interior. The only difference here was the fact that the building was nowhere near as clean. The clinical, pale walls were mottled and brown, dried rivers of muddy water forming dirty lines upon almost everything. Hanging from the walls were shattered screens of projectors. To my left was a row of smashed plant pots. To the left was a grimy window offering a view down into what appeared to be some kind of underground garden. Now it was nothing more than a soggy pool surrounded by rotting wood and long dead vegetation that snaked away from the huge rents in the chamber sides. I waited a few seconds to see if any more robots were going to roll up before I peered around the large plant pot I adopted as cover. There were no more repetitive orders to surrender echoing through the halls as I stepped out. Vertigo seemed even less cautious. He simply charged by me and right over to the foremost of the dropped robots, pushing the silk construct over. "Not bad," he muttered, nodding to me as he passed the hoof over the hole my rifle had melted into one of the robots. "Not bad yourself," I replied skeptically. His gun really did have a sting. That and I had no idea how it worked. "Built off an A221 prototype, I presume. Good model. Should make it automatic," he offered, back to my plasma rifle. You don't know the half of what this baby's made from," I replied, my inner love for tinkering snatching my mind as I boastfully acknowledged his admiration. "Wait, Dragonfire, this was a pony who had a gun pressed to your butt not long ago. Now, shut up, right?" "I imagine that's got a kick to it too," he mused, nodding to my holstered style blaster. He held back the urge to wince. "I would, but I kinda broke it a little," I admitted shamefully. He snored as he was mildly disgusted by the fact, then moved on deeper into the facility. Well, what did he know? If my blaster was working, he could give his shitty pile of scrap a run for his caps any day. Just not today. And that was a mighty fine pile of scrap he was hauling in. "Shut up, Ray!" "Damn it, we got at least 2 more of them coming this way. The hallway has turns too," Vertigo called sourly, peering around the corner. He turned it back around, looking over the corridor until his insectoid eye lens locked onto a faded image on one of the walls. It was long, ruined, and ancient, but depicted a chart of some kind of company's staff members. Most were unicorns, and all were dressed in white lab coats bearing the blue Common Trail Oracle logo. Several more notice boards and posters showed pictures of a smart lavender unicorn mare with a darker purple mane and highlighted as a cream. Glasses wearing unicorn with a maroon and purple mane stood beside her. "Knowledge is magic," one declared. "Yeah, but knowledge was only half the battle. You had to kill your enemy too," mine mused. My attention was stolen seconds later by a wood splattering crash as Vertigo bucked open one of the corridor side doors. "Nope," he said flatly before moving to the next door. "And behind door number 2 is..." So it's connected with the rod wood before it sprung open and he looked aside. "Bingo!" looked to the room where he disappeared, then to the corridor and sound of approaching robots ahead of me. I swiftly chose to follow him through the door. Inside was a large office, with an array of shattered terminal screens on the far side and a smaller room to my left. Wait, no, that was an elevator. In the front of the long dead monitors was a desk and another terminal. So too the walls lined by rusted filing cabinets, glass cases and shelves stacked with crumpled paper and files. Most notable of all, though, was the turret as it dropped from the roof the moment I entered. Of course there was a fucking turret. I ducked to the right, landing behind a locker that had fallen into the middle of the room as the automated defense swiveled around to face us. Really? Vertigo moaned. Then with a flash of his horn, he was on the other side of the room. Wait, how did he get... The turret opened fire, peppering my cover with bullets. Then there was a sharp swoosh as Vertigo sent a metal dart straight through to something important, and the automated weapon fell limp. Nevertheless, I sent plasma blast its way just to make sure, and it melted to the floor in a pool of green goo. From behind the desk, Vertigo gave me an odd look, almost as if he thought I was not taking this seriously or something. Oh, I was the one not taking this seriously? I stood up, looking at him. Well, you've never seen a pony teleport before? It's fair, yeah. But with enough practice, any unicorn should be able to do it. He elaborated, almost taunting me. I really felt stuck between hating his smug face and really wishing he'd tell me how to perform such a useful spell. Regardless, I stepped over the fallen cabinet, tried right up to him and placed a hoof on the desk. Teleporting? Taking out Goss's know how many raiders and slavers single hoofed? I always thought I was good. But even I'd find any that hard. How the f are you really? I demanded, prodding a hoof to his chest. He had something on the terminal and the doors to the elevator opened. Then he looked at me, cocking his head. Well, it's good to see you have a hint of humility at least. I'm Vertigo. I thought we had already did the name exchange thing. Now if you don't mind, I'm going to try to get the elevator to the lower levels working so we can get away from all the robots trying to kill us. He muttered, waving a hoof at me. I growled, banging my hoof on the desk again. There are mere mention of descending deeper into the bowels of another place like this did not do anything to aid me in trusting him. By the gods, if I didn't have a friend to save and an army of religious mad ponies after me, I'd have nothing to do with this guy. You helped me kill the slavers. Followed me in here. And now we're fighting those things like we're best friends. I trailed off. He shook his head, pushing my hoof from the desk. You're saying we're not best friends? I mean, yeah. Then they're first and all, but my serious look must have had some weight to it. I was able to stop him rambling even with my helmet on. No, we're not best friends, I grunted. Fine. Not to be rude. You followed me into this exact building, so yeah. I mean, you could have just left. I've got enough crazy ponies after me too, especially after Stable 54. He boasted as he moved over to the elevator. I paused, my ears rising as my mind went to work with the information it had. Stable 54? You mean the pony Rabbit was talking about on the radio? I asked curiously. I had no way of knowing if there was any connection between him and what the radio mayor had said. He could just be a mercenary from there for all I knew. So this was a wasteland. He liked to f with me, and what better way to do that than with cryptic clues. He removed his helmet, and his look turned skeptical. They came the expression of a pony who loved bragging even more than I did. Oh, the news travels faster than I expected out here. He said as he went to work messing with some kind of pad in the elevator's wall. There was another of the Transcendent secret bases. That's 450 though. They're taking slaves and raiders affected by the rage and locking them up there. It's something they seem to be very fond of lately. So maybe he was the pony that had cleared them out of there after all, I wondered. I suppose that absolved them of really being on their side at least. Then again, Overseer had not seemed incredibly fond of them either, and he was about as trustworthy as a zebra spy. Okay, so I was to believe we were the pony Rabbit was talking about, and not just some bug who heard that on the radio. How does somebody clear an entire stable full of well-armed ponies all alone? Let's just say they can't seem to notice me, even when I'm right in front of them, he added. A hint of amusement in his tone, even as I sensed I really wasn't getting the whole story. Okay, so that last part made no sense. Nor did any of it really. Rapid had said Stable 54 had been cleared yesterday. But that was halfway across the desert. Then again, he just revealed he could teleport, so... How far could somebody teleport again? My thought process must have been evident because Vertigo looked at me like I was stupid. See, not only took on an entire stable full of raiders, but also made halfway across the desert in one day? I stated. Words so unbelievable they actually tasted odd. He leaned forward eagerly, seeming to forget about his anchoring with the elevator. Oh, don't forget the part about the Mr. Yellow guy. That Bellfire egg or... He cut himself off, ears rising. Mr. Yellow? The image of Mr. Red, just with all the redness exchanged to the new color across my mind. He was connected to this too, the Brazens. Buck with that had been with Griddle on the Transcendent were all... I guess you could say we're under new management. My mind screamed and I heard the fabulous entity that was the wasteland laughing at me from afar as the curtain fell, only to see my post-apocalyptic enemy had a massive sign mirroring my mental profanities. Fuck you, Dragonfire. You may want to duck, Vertigo said swiftly, putting on his helmet and tapping my hood to draw me out of my stupor. Attention, attention, this area is restricted. Please surrender. A much deeper, tinny voice sounded from the hallway. Fuck you, wasteland. Bolt to the left. Ignoring the churning in my guts, I rolled into the elevator. Bolts of charisma and crimson energy sparked across the room towards Vertigo. Buck just grumbled something before firing a previously aimed shot right at the sentry bot's head. The sharp shard made a small hole somewhere between the robot's shoulder and his head. That was far bigger than any Ponytron. The thing gave a shudder, but kept firing as it rolled slowly forward, and the second sentry forced its way into the doorway behind it. Please surrender or submit to disintegration, the robot blunted loudly. The second one was even larger, angrier, and looked more like a tank than anything that should be within an office building. Just a loud crash as the robot violently made the door large enough for it to fit through, and a massive Gatling weapon on his arm swiveled towards us. Who in Equestria makes a robot too big for the building it's designed to patrol? The utter ridiculousness of the pre-war world baffled my mind as I turned to Vertigo. Hey, cut the sarcastic! If you're gonna do something, I suggest you do it fast! I said as a spray of crimson death was unleashed upon us. I ducked into the elevator as Vertigo fired a few shots into the metal beast. The dark projectiles merely seemed to pass through its armor and get lost inside it somewhere as it were continuing to fire. I brought up my rifle, and I brought up a missile launcher. A missile launcher? Seriously! I've seen these kinds of robots before, and even now the fact this was allowed to happen in an organized pre-war society baffled me. Vertigo! Vertigo, do something! I called, and there was a sun-green flash and a wave of fiery heat behind me. Instinct drew my eyes to the light. Survival slipping took over before I could look away from our attackers. Eyes of the killer death machine Dragonfire. Eyes on that, please. There was a series of beeps behind me as Vertigo did something with the elevator controls, and another fiery green flash and a wash of heat. Facial recognition accepted. Battle class clearance permitted. Welcome, Professor Moon Dancer, beat a metallic voice. The elevator shook and sparked to life. Fire around it turned green as the door began to close. Then, that was when the missile fire and I leaped back, and sprawled out over the black armored body of Vertigo as the thing spun against the closing door. I heard nothing but the loud boom, the moan of metal, and the clatter of sharp as I closed my eyes and felt the heat surge over me. Shower sparks and sharp metal glanced my body, rattling in the elevator as the thing gave away a heavy shunt. I looked at Vertigo as I lay across his chest. Given how good looking he was, I was surprised that it had taken this long for him to find myself sprawled out over him in the corner of some isolated space. All he had to do now was get undressed. As he looked at me from behind the stupid lenses, I could only say one thing. I f***ing hate you. The elevator gave another heavy shunt as the smoke cleared. Then the whole thing was sent plummeting down to the shaft below.